Okay, we won at the casino today. Now I want to win at home. Come on. Who's this? Oh, dude, that's him. He's not online. It's only 5 minutes. Ah, not bad.
Cousin Peanut, though, no strangers to one another, dating back to the Longzhu days, of course. But Dandy is letting us know that he understands exactly how Cuz works, which is a little bit scary if you're a KT fan.
Yeah, they've been calling him the Dragon Slayer. They've called him the Dragon Slayer forever.
Yep.
But now that dragons are split from grubs, you can play towards dragons a little bit more. Who will you yield, or wield, rather? No one's going to yield. Wield Yone's sword, the new BDD Classic versus the Super Soldier. We're two of our best Yone players here so far. BDD really showing up on this pick.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't really associate with him too much early on.
We associated him with losing to Chovy's version of it really, really badly.
Chovy!
Yeah. If you want, you can go back and watch it. It was BDD on Syndra, and it wasn't a great day for BDD. It was one of the most impressive mid-lane performances we have ever seen. But since then, BDD has certainly stepped up his ability to wield one of the Wind Brothers. And now the team's going to come out. We'll have to assess some of these fist bumps, as it isn't the first time they've met this season, and we'll see whether KT can have a better performance this time around. Big bow there from Cuz, but always a wry smile. You never know whether it's sarcasm on Cuz's face, or whether it's genuine happiness, or whether he just doesn't care.
Yeah, it's very difficult to ascertain oftentimes. Perfect has, I think, solidified himself as the starting player here, and I think this is the version of KT Rolster we're probably going to be seeing for at least the rest of the second round robin here. As, you know, there were a lot of rotating parts here. We had Duck Dom in and out, we had Peter come in, and then, you know, Casting and Perfect were rotating, but now Perfect has, I think, proven himself to be a little bit more stable right now. Even though his champion pool is pretty small, his Rumble is very good, and that's still very relevant. I think other parts of his laning phase, especially with the longer laning phase we're seeing, are definitely making him look like he should be the guy over Casting. As we'll take a look at the mid matchup here between BDD and Zeka, you can see BDD's kill participation is second. That's not a surprise to anyone. Nope. I think when you consider how important he's been, we were saying it's only BDD and Cuz, and then for a while we're saying it's only BDD. And that doesn't change too much here, but the synergy around BDD has definitely improved a lot for KT in their last few matches.
Yep, Zeka as well leading in solo kills as well at 12, and that is a very impressive number at this stage of the year as well. But yes, BDD, as you say, so much on his shoulders. You saw there already his DPM extraordinarily high, his kill participation second highest in the league for our mid laners, and KT have been relying on him since he joined the organization. Much like Gen G used to rely on him when he was on that organization, and Longzhu relied on him when he was on that organization.
Yeah.
So, every single time BDD has ever been on a team.
Nongshim.
Yeah, oh no, I like to forget about that one. I also want to take a little bit of a detour here and just say happy Teachers Day to all the teachers out there. Thank you for everything that you do. One of the most admirable jobs on the planet.
And one of the toughest as well.
And we appreciate you. It is, of course, Teachers Day here in Korea, and so we do need to make sure we stand up and recognize your contributions. So if you are a teacher in the chat, let us all know so that we can congratulate you for being a teacher, because that is just awesome.
Yeah, shout out.
Teachers goated.
Yeah.
Even that teacher that you don't like gives you a hard time.
Yep. Even the one, like, even if they didn't manage to teach you anything, like the majority of my teachers, I still appreciate them trying. You know? Because sometimes it's not them, it's us.
That's why it's a hard job.
Yeah, exactly. All right, this is going to be a hard job for Dom as well to bring it back to the video game. Up against Viper, like you say, Viper has been consistent throughout his whole career as well, much like KT been relying on BDD forever. Home Life Esports need to not worry about Viper ever.
I do think that the draft here for KT is going to be very challenging. They do have side selection, so they'll have blue side for game 1. That does help quite a bit, and I think priority on picks like the Rumble is definitely going to be there for them. Something that, or lane priority that Cuz can play through is probably going to be something they're looking for here in this one. Hanwha Life, stylistically, don't really have a big, like they're not a type of team that plays only through Viper anymore. They don't play only through Zeka. Like you have Zeka and Zeus.
Yep.
And then you have the best AD carry in the league who has the biggest champion pool of any AD carry in the league. So he doesn't really care about Fearless.
Nope.
He'll play Kalista like it's a late game champion, you know. So I feel like draft wise for Hanwha Life, they'll be happy with pretty much anything. I think if you're KT, you need to make sure you have a draft that works around BDD, and Duckdom is on something that's a little bit safer. I think that some of the other carries he's played a lot of this year that have not worked out.
Yep, I think the Jhin priority is going to be off the chain, is what I'm kind of thinking here. Varus obviously has been very high prior, but the lethality Varus, you can slap that onto Duckdom, and then he can follow up with a lot of things, even if he isn't necessarily going to be that main character like you were talking about. I agree. And now it is time to get into Champion Select, and I'm going to tell you why KT should probably win this game.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with the teams that are playing here today. It has nothing to do with side selection, with form. It's as you zoom out, you start to see the patterns. You start to see they were destroyed 2-0, 3 in a row. And now they've won 2-0 twice in a row.
Yeah.
And this is the type of KT balance that leads them to the 50-50s that we all know of. All you need to do is zoom out a little bit, and you can see the writing is on the wall, or it's in their match history.
Yeah, you just have to look and see how they hit 500. You know, I had to see how they hit that
exactly. It's all about the 50%, and that says something, right? That means that there's synergy, there's balance. And today is where we see that that balance come together. And so if KT win today, guys, I just need you to know we shouldn't be too surprised.
No.
We should be a bit surprised because it doesn't make sense. Hanwha Life Esports seem to be way better, but for that reason alone, for the symmetry alone, that's what should bring us there. Anyway, all of the weirdness aside, let's have a look at these bans.
Poppy ban makes you feel like they might be fishing for a Kalista first pick. I think if Kalista gets banned here, they'll likely lock the Rumble. If Perfect wants to play Gwen, that's a risky choice against Zeus, so I think we'll be happy to play the Rumble into the Gwen. But if it's banned here, you have to make the choice between the Kalista and the Rumble. And that's where things get a little bit scary, is they'll actually ban Nico. So weakening some of the power into Kalista. So like, I think Viper's like, well, I'm gonna grab Kalista here. And thank you very much. So Gwen does get locked in. Will they maybe go Kalista Rumble?
And I don't know whether Gwen is necessarily at the same power level as we've seen her, right? In previous patches, things like the Rumble being up and available means that she can kind of get cooked up there towards the top side of the map. Varus Rumble would actually be a very, very powerful first round of picks here for HLE if they do decide to go that way. But Talia's up as well.
Yeah, Talia's up, Azir is up. A lot of prio picks up here since we saw a pretty unusual set of bans here for KT Rolster that are kind of player specific.
Yep. Talia Pantheon. Talia Pantheon is just the lock-in, right?
Yeah, I think that's going to be the play. Because
oh my god,
you have so much global power with these two picks, and you can shut down the Gwen in the side lane so incredibly well because Pantheon can just follow her, and then you have to consider how good Talia is into Gwen in general in terms of zone control. So what's the response going to be here for BDD is my biggest question. Is if he just slams down the Azir, I don't think anyone will be surprised, but it's going to have to come with something that pairs really well with it here because so much is already taken away. Pantheon's gone, Xin Zhao is gone, Wukong looks like it's going to be the lock here potentially, and very strong Varus if that does end up being the final pick here for Hanwha Life Esports. I think with the composition of KT Rolster, I don't think you want to take that pick yourself.
I would agree. I don't know whether it's Azir time. I just think the matchup into the Talia has been so difficult. We've seen this core many, many times. Didn't feel like it worked all that well yesterday. I think BNK FearX used it a couple of times, or at least once. It's Fearless, Atlas, you moron. But they did use it once. This sort of top 3 picks. I don't know whether it necessarily worked out against Nongshim, as Zeka is hovering Zeus' favorites. One of Zeus. Look at his face. He was like, please, it would be great. Oh, I guess